With 3 newly elected county councilors, a new jail services department, and the implementation of the new safety sales tax, Clark County already has an active 2023 agenda. Recently, we sat down with Kathleen Otto, Clark County Manager, to review last year's highlights for county government and learn what challenges and opportunities lie ahead in the year 2023 and beyond.
Hello and welcome to Clark County Close-Up. My name's Jim Demon. Thank you so much for meeting with us.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. What do you believe were some of the biggest accomplishments for Clark County in the past year?
Yes, so one of them was the voter-approved public safety sales tax. And I want to say thank you to the public. This is great to support the body and dash camera program in the sheriff's office. We also have a new online permitting process system called ePlan Review that actually helps our residents get their plans done in a more efficient way. Community services that's continue to provide money in the community, supporting rental assistance and other areas using ARPA funding. Our treasurer's office championed a home buyer down payment assistance. And then finally, with ARPA funding, we did have a small business grant in the community. So there's a lot of community-focused services that we were able to accomplish.
What were some of the biggest challenges you faced last year?
Yeah, I'm only going to mention one, and that's staffing. And that is a challenge that, we've had here, people retiring. It's been tough since COVID. And speaking with my colleagues in the community, it's a common thread and a theme that we're all facing right now.
So I want to get a little bit more detail. Fortunately, it's a relief to say that COVID, the impacts for 2022 seem to diminish throughout the year. Is the county pretty much operating in pre-pandemic fashion? And have some things changed on a more permanent basis following the pandemic?
So yes, while COVID, I think, has become more of a norm that we're seeing, it does still impact us at times when somebody is, getting COVID and share it with their colleagues. Sometimes that impacts our services and we have to reduce services for in-person. But like you mentioned, there are a lot of opportunities too that we realized during COVID, which is online meetings and discussions like we're having right now. I anticipate some of those are going to continue. They're sharing some efficiencies, and even in our board meetings, our council meetings, we do encourage the community to come into a council meeting. But if they can't, there's an opportunity that they can still participate from their home. So we do have a hybrid in a lot of our services. Some do in person. Some services, again, are remote, and a hybrid, so providing that flexibility both for staff and our community.
Okay. Late last year, the county decided to move jail services from under the sheriff's office to a department under the county manager's office. How will this move improve efficiencies and services?
Yeah, great question. So as you mentioned, there was action taken by council last year. Their first action was to create a new Department of Jail Services. And then once that was done, during the budget process for the 2023 budget, we did have a request that was approved to move budget and the FTE, and that was effective on January 1. We're still working through some other transition items with our support guild. They do provide services to all the branches in the sheriff's office. But one of the things that it is a benefit on that and the efficiency is, it's a countywide service. The jail is much like public health. It allows the sheriff's office to focus on law enforcement, and we can put additional resources to supporting whether it's mental and behavioral health supports, working collaboratively with all of our customers, including the sheriff and the cities and the other jurisdictions. So money into the facilities and a designated, assistance with that. So it's really allowing multiple resources to be allocated to help support it, and then also relieve some of the pressures that the sheriff's office may have had as they have other duties as well.
Okay. Voters approved, and you mentioned this, the safety sales tax in August. How will you prioritize the spending of that in this coming year?
Yeah, so one of the ways that we have to prioritize is due to what was in the ballot title. So that included the dash cameras and body cameras for the sheriff's office and other public safety expenses. So that is definitely set a priority. We've already put some money aside. Our sheriff is currently reviewing the programs to see what makes sense for them. And I anticipate that they will be implementing something in a phased approach starting the end of this year. There'll be more information that they'll share with our council. There's other things too that we've done. So the increase for our deputy sheriff's guild was increased based on collective bargaining. So that was identified in public safety sales tax. Same thing with corrections. And we're always looking and having discussions with a lot of our partners like Superior Court. They are looking at expanding. And so while other than the ballot measure title, other items will come to the council and we'll look at it, see what makes sense and what we can, support and make a determination moving forward.
Okay. How does the county revenue look for 2023?
Yeah, so I may have mentioned this last time we spoke, but we have seen unprecedented increase in our sales tax in the last 2 years, which is kind of odd. We first started in the pandemic and we were monitoring, making sure we could cover our bills, not knowing how it was going to impact that. So we were able to readjust our baseline budget for revenues for 2023 to identify and realize those additional revenues. So it's looking good. We still have an ongoing structural deficit where our expenses are exceeding revenues, but we're monitoring it, and it pushed that urgent need out a few years, which is good because prior to this increase, we had a negative in our general fund starting this year. So it does allow for us to be budget neutral right now, able to sustain it. It gives us time to look more strategically on what we can afford, what we should afford, and how are we going to plan for that long term.
Okay. The impacts of homelessness continue to hit this region hard. What steps are underway to help people find affordable housing in the county?
Yeah, so community planning, our Department of Community Planning is overseeing the Housing Options Study and Action Plan. This plan was actually completed in May of 2022, and the council already did provide direction to community staff, our community planning staff, to start implementing components of that plan. There have been some technical housing code forum series that have been going on where the public's been invited to learn about different options, provide necessary feedback, and so that staff can get some information as well. There is more information on the community planning website, including all the prior discussions and concepts, public feedback, and a sort of document. So I would encourage anybody who's interested in that topic to please visit their website online.
Now, to continue with housing, the county recently held a kickoff event for the development of the Comprehensive Growth Management Plan. Can you please explain the purpose of this plan, when it's due, and how the public can stay involved?
Yeah, so this is a new process for me, as well as many new processes. And Oliver Jocko, our community planning director, has been great, and it's going to be a learning process over the next couple of years. But yes, the periodic review is required by the Growth Management Act, and this update is due by June 30th of 2025. The plan is a long-range policy guide for how the county plans to manage growth and development over a 20-year period. So, and a lot of these areas are items such as land use, parks, housing, capital facilities, schools, a bunch of variety of areas. The purpose of this update is to ensure that the comp plan and the development regulations are up to date due to changes in state law, land use changes, population projections, and housing projections. There is a draft public participation plan that is online right now. It's open, and there is a public comment period going on right now until February 8th. So I would encourage anybody who is interested to visit their website and please submit any comments on that. That public participation plan really does identify the whole process and what this looks like, what does it entail, the different times when the community can provide input, the cities, and so forth. So I would encourage people to go on and take a look.
Okay. Voters in November elected 3 new county councilors. How has the county been orienting these new councilors to county government?
Yeah, I kind of felt bad for some of them because their first day we had a council meeting. So there wasn't a lot of prep work that we could do. I mean, I sent out some summaries of the meetings just to try to help them along in the first meeting. But in the second week, we did have a council retreat. This is an annual retreat that we always do, but it was an opportunity for us to talk about an overview of the charter, the Open Public Meetings Act, public disclosure requests, policies, Finance 101. So they got a lot of information in the first couple of weeks. One thing I've learned working at the county is you never stop learning. So, you could be here for 20 years and people still learn, and I'm still learning every day. We are setting up times with our departments and offices for them to meet with the council so that they know who people are, what they're working on, and how their work impacts the staff's work, and how we, work together serving the community.
Okay. What challenges do you see for county government in the coming years? And then also, what opportunities?
Yes, so I may have said this before when we've chatted, but I actually do see challenges as opportunities. Staffing, like I said, that is one of our largest challenges. We see people retiring, less people applying. Again, this is something that is common with other jurisdictions. We continue to monitor and refine our budget and services, ensuring that continuity of services. And one thing that we're going to be focusing on this year, both with my personal goals, with departments' goals, individual goals, and even our budget process, is tying all of that to our vision, mission, and strategic actions. And, because that really does provide the framework on the services that we provide, how we provide them, what it looks like, what it feels like. And then also trying to figure out how do we increase the transparency on how we're doing. So I do have a couple programs. One's called Smart Sheets that trying to get everything in there so that we can share with the community and internally. And it's kind of an accountability for ourselves, but also, again, engaging with the community, show them what we're doing, what are we doing well, and what do we need to continue to work on to ensure that we're getting the services out.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers about county government?
Yeah, so, well, I don't know about county government, but I always encourage people to get involved. And so if people are interested in public service, please look at our open positions, or you can volunteer on a board and commission. All of that is on our website. And as always, I'm always open to feedback. So if people have questions or if they want to meet or have a discussion, please reach out. We are here for you, and I look forward to that dialogue.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.